My dad went missing 12 years ago. Yesterday, I got a voicemail from his number. When I was 15, my dad vanished. No goodbye, no note, no sign of a struggle. Just gone. 1 minute, he was fixing the sink. The next minute, we never saw him again. Police thought he skipped town, that maybe he ran from debt or had a second family. My mom swore up and down that he'd never do that to us. But as the years dragged on, even I started to doubt. It ruined my mom. She spiraled into depression, could barely hold a job. I became the adult in the house before I even graduated. And when I turned 18, I left. I moved 3 states away, changed my number, and tried to forget. I didn't talk about him, didn't visit, didn't dig. I just stopped caring. Or at least I convinced myself I did. Until yesterday. I was at work, finishing up a late shift when I noticed a missed call. No name, just a number I didn't recognize. Then I saw the area code. It was from my hometown, the same town I hadn't set foot in since the day I left. Then came the voicemail, and I swear to God, it was my dad. The voice was shaky, like someone speaking through static or interference, but it was him. I knew that voice. I spent half my childhood clinging to it. The message was short, just a few words. Eli, it's me. Don't trust them. I was right. I'm at 7-3, then static, then silence. I must have replayed it a dozen times. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone. After all these years, why now? Why me? I knew I couldn't ignore it. Not anymore. So I called the number back. It rang once, then disconnected. Tried again. This time it rang twice, then voicemail. A robotic voice. No custom message. I barely slept that night. The next morning I packed a bag, told my boss I needed a week off, and got in my car. I hadn't been back to Ashford Falls in 12 years. The town hadn't changed much. Same diner, same gas station, same slow pace. It felt like driving into a dream I'd forgotten I had. But what struck me the most was the silence. It was like the whole place was holding its breath. My childhood home was boarded up. Mom had passed 2 years ago, liver failure, and the bank had taken the house not long after. I didn't have a place to stay, so I booked a room at the old motel near the edge of town. That night, I sat on the edge of the bed, playing the voicemail again and again, trying to figure out what he was saying. Don't trust them. Who the hell was them? And 7-3. What did that mean? A time? A date? An address? I started digging. First, I visited the police station. Officer Markson was still there. Older, but still sharp-eyed. He remembered me. Asked if I was back for closure. I told him about the voicemail. He looked uncomfortable. Said the number was probably spoofed. That it was unlikely, but I should forward it to the department and let them investigate. He didn't ask for a copy of the voicemail. He just said he'd look into it. But something about the way he said it, robotic, memorized, like he'd been waiting for me to ask. So I left and went to the library. I knew Dad kept journals. He used to fill entire notebooks with diagrams, notes, strange questions. Things like how much is memory manipulation possible? And mass delusion events in US history. Mom always called it his crazy hobby, but he took it seriously. At the library, I found microfiche of the local papers. I went through the weeks leading up to his disappearance. Nothing in the headlines, but one story caught my eye. Local man claims disappearance tied to underground testing facility. The article was about a guy named Carl Dempsey. He said people were being taken by something beneath the forest, that government vans were spotted late at night, no license plates. He claimed he had evidence, but refused to say more. The article ran 3 days before my dad disappeared, and Carl Dempsey, he was found dead a week later. Ruled a suicide. That couldn't be a coincidence. I started looking into 7-3. There was a cabin on Route 7, mile marker 3, just outside the forest preserve. It used to be a ranger station, but it had been abandoned since the early 90s. I drove there the next morning. The road was barely drivable, overgrown, full of potholes. The cabin was falling apart, but something about it felt off. There were fresh tire tracks, a dead cell phone tower right beside it. I stepped inside. The inside was empty, dusty, except for a hatch in the floor. Opened it. A ladder led down into pitch blackness. I hesitated, but if my dad had been down here, I had to know. I climbed down. The air was stale. I found myself in a narrow tunnel, concrete walls, old wiring. It looked like some kind of fallout shelter. I followed it for what felt like forever. Eventually, it opened into a room. Metal walls, surveillance monitors, filing cabinets, and on the desk, a photograph of me from last week, coming out of work. On the back, subject 23A confirmed. My blood went cold. I opened one of the cabinets. Files, dozens of them. Names, dates, locations, most marked terminated, and one marked Elijah Hart. My name inside were test results, psychological profiles, transcripts of conversations I don't even remember having. Subject unaware of lineage, potential for inherited memory immunity, priority observation, and at the bottom, a recent entry, voicemail sent, phase 2 in motion. I staggered back. They sent it? This was a setup. I turned to run, but the tunnel behind me was closed. A metal door I hadn't seen before was sealed shut. Then I heard a voice. Eli. I turned. It was my dad. He looked older, thinner, eyes sunken, but alive. He grabbed me. No, time to explain, he whispered. They'll know you're here. Who are they? He looked at me, tears in his eyes. They've been watching you since you were born. Since I left. I didn't disappear, Eli. I hid because you're part of something bigger than you understand. And now they're coming. He handed me a flash drive. Everything is on here. Expose them. Run. Before I could ask anything else, the lights flickered and the wall exploded inward. I woke up in the woods. No idea how I got there. Clothes torn. Blood on my shirt. No flash drive. No sign of my dad. It's been 2 days. The voicemail is gone from my phone. The motel claims I never checked in. The police have no record of me visiting, but I know what I saw. And I'm telling this story in case something happens to me because I know they're still out there, watching, waiting. I don't know if I'll make it through the week, but if you hear a voicemail from someone you thought was gone, don't ignore it. And whatever you do, don't go to 7-3.